The golden lie, what's really inside your honey jar. Welcome to today's video, where we expose one of the most shocking food deceptions hiding in plain sight: fake honey. You've heard the health claims. Honey is natural, it's antibacterial, it's good for digestion, sleep, allergies, and even blood pressure. For decades, seniors across America have trusted honey as a safer alternative to sugar, something pure and wholesome in an increasingly artificial world. But what if we told you that what's inside your honey jar might not be honey at all? In fact, recent investigations by the European Union, the FDA, and global food watchdogs have uncovered a disturbing truth. Up to 46% of the honey sold worldwide is either adulterated or outright fake. That includes products sold in major supermarkets, health food stores, and even honey labeled organic or local. And it gets worse. Much of this counterfeit honey doesn't just come from one place. It travels a long, dark path, often across continents, from the Middle East to parts of Europe and into the Americas. Along the way, it's mixed, filtered, diluted, and disguised. The result? A golden liquid that looks like honey, smells like honey, but has none of its natural benefits. How is this possible? Because honey, unlike many other foods, is not tightly regulated in most countries. While meat and dairy go through strict inspection processes, honey slips through the cracks, making it an ideal target for fraud. Here's the truth: there's big money in honey. The global honey industry is worth over $9 billion, and demand keeps rising, especially among older adults seeking natural health alternatives. But authentic, raw honey is expensive to produce. It takes time, real bees, and clean environments. So, to meet demand and cut costs, shady manufacturers do the unthinkable. They add cheap sugar syrups, rice syrups, or high-fructose corn syrup into the mix. They use ultrafiltration to remove pollen, making it impossible to trace the honey's origin. And they often mislabel foreign honey as local or wildflower to increase its price. What's more disturbing is that many countries with strong honey traditions, like Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Argentina, and even the US, have become hubs for this kind of deception, sometimes knowingly, sometimes not. In this video, we're going to take you step by step through how honey is being faked around the world, which countries are involved in the fraud, the health risks for seniors who consume low-quality honey, and finally, how you can protect yourself and buy the real thing. This isn't about causing fear, it's about revealing the truth so you can make informed, healthy choices. Because when it comes to your health, especially in your golden years, you deserve better than golden lies. Stay tuned. In the next part, we'll uncover exactly how honey gets faked, and why most people can't tell the difference. How honey gets faked, tricks, syrups, and the disappearing pollen. In part 1, we uncovered a shocking truth, that nearly half of the honey sold around the world may be fake or adulterated. But now, the question becomes, how exactly does honey get faked? And why is it so hard to detect? The answer lies in a series of well-crafted tricks, perfected over the years by dishonest manufacturers. These methods allow cheap, artificial sweeteners to pass as real honey, even under the noses of inspectors and consumers. Let's start with the most common tactic: dilution. Instead of harvesting real honey from bees, fraudsters mix in inexpensive sugar syrups made from rice, corn, or even beetroot. These syrups are cheap, sweet, and clear, making them nearly indistinguishable from genuine honey in color and texture. In many cases, this diluted honey is still sold under labels like 100% pure or natural, deceiving buyers who have no idea what's inside. But they don't stop there. To further hide the fraud, many producers use a technique called ultrafiltration. This process removes the pollen from honey, which may sound harmless, but it's actually a huge red flag. Why? Because pollen is nature's fingerprint. It reveals where the honey came from, what flowers the bees visited, and whether the honey is truly local or imported. When you remove the pollen, you erase the ability to trace the honey's origin. That means a syrup-heavy batch from overseas can be passed off as local, raw honey from a family farm in Texas or France, and no one would know. Another common trick: blending and relabeling. Large-scale honey brokers often buy bulk honey from multiple sources, some legitimate, some questionable, and blend them together. Then they relabel the product under a different country or region to make it appear premium. A batch originally imported from China, for example, might be mixed and repackaged in Turkey or the UAE, then sold as Mediterranean wildflower honey. And let's not forget the rise of flavor enhancers and thickeners. Some companies even add artificial scents and coloring to mimic the floral aroma and golden hue of real honey, turning a lab-made syrup into something that looks authentic on a store shelf. The worst part: these fake honeys often pass basic quality checks, especially in countries where food fraud enforcement is weak or underfunded. And since most consumers can't taste the difference, they continue using it, unaware they're missing out on honey's natural benefits, or worse, consuming hidden chemicals. So what's the bottom line? Fake honey isn't just a minor ingredient scam. It's a sophisticated operation that hides behind marketing, weak regulation, and consumer trust. In the next part, we'll uncover which countries are involved, how fake honey travels across borders, and what role international trade plays in flooding global markets with golden fraud. Stay with us, this story runs deeper than you think. Countries behind the honey fraud, from the Middle East to the Americas. Now that we understand how honey is faked, it's time to ask the next big question: where is this fake honey coming from? The answer may surprise you, because it's not just one country. It's an entire network of regions, spanning the Middle East, Europe, and the Americas, that together keep the global supply of counterfeit honey flowing. Let's start in the Middle East, a region known for producing some of the world's most expensive and sought-after honey, like the famous Sidr honey from Yemen or Saudi Arabia. But where there's value, there's also fraud. Saudi Arabia. While many producers in Saudi Arabia are legitimate, the country has also become a major market for imported fake honey, especially from Asia. Some sellers bottle cheap syrup-based products and label them as Sidr honey, selling them at a premium to unsuspecting customers. Worse, some of these products are even re-exported to Europe and North America as authentic Middle Eastern honey. Yemen's reputation for world-class honey has been damaged by massive counterfeiting, especially as the country struggles with war and economic instability. Fake Yemeni Sidr honey is commonly produced in other countries and passed off as real, often through Dubai or Turkey as transit hubs. Now, let's move to Europe, where the issue is more systemic. Turkey. As a bridge between East and West, Turkey has become a central player in the honey trade. Investigations by the European Commission in 2023 found that a significant percentage of honey exported from or through Turkey was adulterated with sugar syrups. Some of it originally came from Asia or Eastern Europe, then was relabeled as Turkish honey to raise its value. Ukraine is one of Europe's biggest honey producers, but recent reports have flagged irregularities in export samples, particularly honey destined for the EU. Due to the war and economic pressure, some producers are tempted to cut corners, and some bulk exports have tested positive for unauthorized additives and dilution. Spain and Italy. These countries are traditionally proud of their beekeeping heritage. Yet even here, fraudulent blends are entering the supply chain, usually mixed with imports from countries like China or India. Once in the EU, this honey is often labeled as product of EU and non-EU origin, a vague term that hides the true source. Now let's head west to the Americas. Argentina. Argentina is one of the largest honey exporters in the world, but a 2021 U.S. Customs inspection found that nearly 20% of Argentine honey shipments were adulterated, often with high fructose corn syrup or rice syrup. The problem stems from high export demand and weak oversight. United States. The U.S. imports over 70% of its honey, making it highly vulnerable to honey laundering. Products from countries with poor records, like Brazil, Vietnam, and sometimes even India, are relabeled and sold as pure U.S. honey. Despite efforts from organizations like True Source Honey, fraudulent honey still slips through. These examples show that honey fraud is not a local problem. It's a global supply chain issue driven by profit, weak regulation, and consumer trust. Up next, what happens when you consume fake honey? For seniors with blood sugar concerns, allergies, or weakened immunity, the risks are more serious than you might think. Hidden health risks. What fake honey can do to your body. Fake honey isn't just a scam at the grocery store. It's a real threat to your health, especially for seniors. Many older adults choose honey as a natural alternative to refined sugar or artificial sweeteners. They mix it with tea, drizzle it on oatmeal, or take a spoonful every morning as part of their wellness routine. After all, raw honey is known for its antioxidants, antibacterial properties, and soothing effects on the throat and digestion. But here's the problem. Fake honey offers none of those benefits, and in some cases, it may actually make your health worse. Let's break it down. Blood sugar spikes and metabolic strain. Most fake honey is made by diluting real honey with cheap syrups, like high fructose corn syrup, glucose syrup, or rice syrup. These additives are rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream, causing sharp spikes in blood sugar. For seniors managing type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, metabolic syndrome, this can be dangerous. Repeated blood sugar spikes increase the risk of insulin resistance, nerve damage, and cardiovascular problems, even if you think you're avoiding sugar by switching to honey. Real honey, especially raw varieties, has a lower glycemic impact due to its complex sugars and trace enzymes. But fake honey, it's just glorified sugar water of natural compounds. Genuine honey contains polyphenols and flavonoids, antioxidants that fight inflammation, trace enzymes that support digestion and immunity, natural antibacterial agents, used for centuries in wound healing. When honey is fake or ultra-filtered, all of this is lost. What remains is a sweet, sticky substance with little to no nutritional value, and none of the health-promoting properties seniors count on. Allergies and immune system confusion. One of the lesser-known benefits of local raw honey is that it may help reduce allergy symptoms by gradually exposing your body to local pollen. But if the honey has been ultra-filtered, or worse, mixed with foreign syrups and additives, that local pollen is gone. Even worse, some fake honeys contain chemical residues from processing, including antibiotics used on bees, especially in unregulated farms, solvents used in syrup blending, heavy metals if processed in contaminated facilities. These contaminants may be present in trace amounts, but for seniors with weakened immunity or liver function, long-term exposure can be harmful. Perhaps the most dangerous effect of all is the illusion of safety. Seniors take fake honey believing it's natural, healthy, and even medicinal, but what they're really consuming could be setting back their health goals. They may skip blood sugar tests, indulge more, or avoid other safer options, all based on a lie sitting in a honey jar. In our final part, we'll arm you with the tools to fight back, how to spot real honey, what labels to trust, and how to make sure you're truly getting nature's golden gift, not a lab-made fraud. Stay tuned for part 5. It could change how you shop forever. How to spot real honey, a senior's guide to buying the real thing. We've uncovered the truth about fake honey, how it's made, where it comes from, and how it can quietly harm your health. But now, it's time for solutions, because despite all the deception, real, high-quality honey still exists, and you can find it, if you know what to look for. Let's break it down into simple steps. Here's how seniors, and anyone, can spot real honey and avoid being fooled. Read the label carefully. Look beyond words like natural, pure, or organic. These terms are unregulated and mean almost nothing in the honey world. Instead, look for single origin labeling, e.g., cedar honey from Yemen, or wildflower honey from Vermont. Harvest or production date. Unfiltered, raw, unpasteurized, means the honey hasn't been heated or stripped of pollen. True Source certified, a verification program that traces honey back to its origin. If the label says, blend of EU and non-EU honeys, or is missing a country of origin, that's a red flag. Check the texture and smell. Real honey is thick and slow-moving, not watery or runny. Over time, real honey will crystallize, a natural process that doesn't affect quality. Fake honey often stays liquid due to added sugars or water. Open the jar and take a sniff. Raw honey smells floral, earthy, or herbal, depending on the region. Fake honey, often little to no scent, or overly sweet, like candy. Use a home test, optional but fun. While not 100% scientific, these simple tests can help. The water test, place a spoon of honey in a glass of water. Real honey sinks slowly and stays clumped. Fake honey dissolves quickly. The flame test, dip a cotton swab in honey, then try lighting it, carefully. Real honey will burn briefly. Fake honey with water won't ignite. Crystal test, let your honey sit for weeks. Real honey crystallizes. Fake honey often stays smooth. These are just clues, not proofs, but helpful in combination with label checks. Buy from trusted sources. Local beekeepers or farmers markets. Ask questions directly. Many small producers are proud of their craft. Reputable specialty stores. Look for transparency in sourcing. Brands with lab test results. Some premium brands publish pollen analysis or purity reports online. Avoid bargain bins and generic brands with no traceable source, especially when buying online. When in doubt, ask. If a product feels too cheap, too vague, or too perfect, ask. Email the company. Look for third-party reviews. Or better yet, join a local beekeeping group or senior health forum to learn what others trust. Real honey is one of nature's most precious gifts. It has nourished humans for thousands of years, and it still can today, but only if you know what you're getting. Seniors deserve transparency. You deserve quality. And you deserve to know the truth behind what's on your spoon. If this video helped open your eyes, please like, comment, and share it with your friends and family, especially those who love honey. And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories that protect your health. Because when it comes to wellness in your golden years, the truth is the sweetest gift of all.